Now I'm ready to drill my acrylic blanks. Now there's two tricks to drill down into the blank slow, and be careful at the end not to push too hard, because you can blow out or break the bottom of the blank out. You need to just drill it gently. And the other thing is to clean the shavings out numerous times. So go slow. First off, I'll talk about my setup. You may have seen it, or if you're new to the Wood Turning 101 series, I've got two 2x4s and a hinge and a plate, and this is not my design. It came out of Rex and Kip's pen turning book, and it's absolutely fantastic. I just slide that in there. I've got a clamp here to kind of hold it down. I get the pen lined up right in the middle, and I'm going to pull this down nice and slowly. I've got what they call a brad point tip, which is a super sharp point, 7mm drill bit for 7mm tubes, and that's what a slimline kit is. So we'll go ahead and get started and drill this out. Nice and slow, pressing it in, clean out the shavings a lot, and I'll try and keep my elbows out of the way. Now I'm getting to the end, nice and slow. Clean it out again. I didn't quite make it. And you can see I had a tiny bit of blowout on the bottom there. So I'm glad my blank is a little bit farther. And also, if it blows out on this end, remember my grain match pattern. Let's see, sorry, lost that. My grain match pattern is on this end. So when I insert the tube, I'm going to have it closer to here. And that tiny little bit of breakout, it's going to get trimmed right off. So we're good to go. Let's one more. Alright, so one thing to note, I got a little bit hot there at the end. This stuff will melt. Instead of drill, it will actually kind of melt, and it will melt the blank out and cause you trouble. So error on the side of going slower and being a little bit more patient. Yeah, so that one drilled out. Okay, now we're going to zip through a technique to drill a blank on your lathe. No real special tools required beyond your 4-jaw chuck, if you've got one of those. So I put the blank inside the middle of the chuck. I guess I start there. I line the blank up and I set it inside the jaws of the chuck that come down and close, and I kind of wiggled it around to get it centered. Snugged it up, pulled it up, and I found the absolute middle. Tighten that up. Let's see. Tighten that up for a second, and now I'm going to put a bunch of pressure on this. Clamp the blank in there. So we're good to go on that. Now I'm going to pull the tailstock out of the way, loosen it up, take the drive center out, and now I have two Jacobs chucks, which is not necessary. I just have two. This has a little machinist tip, and this has a 7mm brad point drill bit in it. I'm going to put this one in first. Turn the lathe on. Bring this up. All this does is make a little dimple. I'm at slow. I'm at 600 RPMs. This just gets things started without any wiggle. It's definitely not necessary. It's just kind of a nice thing. And because I've got it, I'll just grab that and use it. A friend who's a metal machinist gave that to me. But if you don't have that, no worries. Bring up your brad pit, turn your drill on, nice and slow, and just bring the drill into the blank, back it out, clean it out, exactly like I did on the drill press. It's just dual use for your lathe. You can bring it out, clean it out, but it's cleaning itself out fairly well. You can tell by the way it feels, the way it sounds, it's just going right in. I may slow it down a little bit. Like I mentioned, this could possibly burn, but it's not in this case. It's just going in nice and slow. And the acrylic, what a smell. Woo-wee! Doesn't really smell burned, but it's plastic, you can tell. Bring it out. And yeah, there's a test. That tip is definitely hot. So I'm melting as much as I am cutting. In a pinch, if you're on the road, just your little lathe and a Jacob's chuck, this will drill your blanks out for you. There, and we're done. And I can just bring it out with the lathe. Not even turned on, so it won't ream it out anymore. It won't heat it anymore. Just as simple as that. Perfect. Perfect. I'll drill the other ones, the Cocobolo ones, off camera, and we'll continue on gluing the tubes in.